When we think about getting rich, our minds usually jump to lottery wins or those overnight crypto billionaires, right? But that's not the real story. The true signs that you're building wealth, well, they're often invisible. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the 12 quiet signs that show you're actually on the right track, and it has nothing to do with being loud or flashy. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? In reality, real wealth is quiet. It's not going to make the 6 o'clock news. You're not going to get a round of applause for it. It's built on a foundation of small, consistent choices that you make behind the scenes, day in and day out. And you can really see the difference here. The myths on the left, it's all about what other people see, the flashy car, the designer logos, the Instagram posts from first class. But the reality of actually building wealth, it's the stuff on the right. It's the small, kinda unglamorous choices, the habits you repeat for years, and just watching those numbers in your account slowly, quietly tick upwards. It's a totally different game, one that's about substance, not sizzle. So how can you tell if you're on this quiet path? Well, we've broken down these 12 signs into a few key areas. Let's start with what I like to call the defensive plays, the moves you make to build a solid financial fortress that can weather any storm. And the very first sign is a huge one. You are no longer a hostage to your next paycheck. See, real wealth isn't about having a massive salary. It's measured in breathing room. The big benchmark here is having at least 3 months of your essential living expenses saved up. When you have that cushion, you start making decisions from a place of stability, not desperation. This leads perfectly into our next sign, and it all comes down to this one question. You get a raise at work. Awesome. But where does that extra money actually go? For a lot of people, it just vanishes into a slightly bigger apartment or a newer car. The second quiet sign of wealth is that you figured out how to sidestep this trap of lifestyle inflation. And this chart shows that exact fork in the road. On the left, you've got the trap. Your income goes up, but your spending goes right up with it. You're not actually getting richer, you're just broke at a higher income level. But look at the fortress on the right. Income goes up, but spending stays flat. And that gap that opens up between the two, boom, that is your wealth building engine right there. The next sign is a really powerful mental shift. You just feel less of an urge to impress total strangers. When you stop looking for applause from the outside world, you trade it for a deep sense of internal confidence. You'd rather have your money working for you in an investment account than have a fancy logo on a bag that does absolutely nothing for your future. And this fourth sign? Oh, this is a true game changer. Unexpected bills just don't send you into a panic anymore. The car breaks down, the dog decides a sock looks like a fun snack. Instead of a full-blown crisis, it's just an inconvenience. And why is that? Because you built an emergency fund. And that, my friends, protects your sleep, your health, and your relationships. And that's a kind of wealth you just can't put a price tag on. Okay, so we've built up our defenses. That's the foundation. Now, let's talk about going on offense. These next signs are all about the active strategies that don't just protect your money, but actually put it to work and make it grow for you. Sign number 5 is when your money keeps working even after you've clocked out for the day. I love this idea of recruiting a team of silent employees, your dollars, that work for you 24/7, no holidays, no sick days. This is the magic of passive income, and it's how you break free from only trading your time for money. Now, to get those silent employees, you have to really, really understand the difference between these two words. An asset puts money in your pocket. Think of a stock that pays you a dividend. A liability, on the other hand, drains money out of your pocket, like a hefty car payment. Getting this distinction right is basically the bedrock of building wealth. And these examples just make it so clear. A used cargo van that's out there earning you delivery fees, that's an asset. A boring, low-cost index fund, total asset. But the latest phone you bought on a payment plan, or a car that's way more than you can afford, those are liabilities. The people quietly building wealth are obsessed with stacking up everything on the left side of this chart. So once you start stacking those assets, this is where the fun begins. The next sign is that you understand the incredible power of compounding. And a really cool mental shortcut for this is the rule of 72. You just take the number 72 and divide it by your expected return, let's say 8% from the stock market. The answer, 9, is roughly how many years it'll take for your money to double. It's a simple little math trick that makes a huge concept feel real. And here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. It's so simple. Step 1, your dollars earn more dollars. Okay, cool. But then step 2, those new dollars start earning their own dollars. And you just repeat that over and over. It's this amazing feedback loop where your money starts to build on itself exponentially. So, because you get how powerful that is, you start making different choices. And that's sign number 8. You start leaning toward boring, long-term assets, not chasing lucky breaks. You're choosing the slow, steady, predictable growth of something like a Roth IRA over gambling on the latest meme stock that everyone's hyping up online. One is a plan. The other is just a lottery ticket. And quiet wealth is always, always built on a plan. Okay, so we've talked a lot about money, but the truly wealthy know there are 2 assets that are way more valuable. And the next few signs are all about how you master and protect your knowledge and your time. Sign number 9 is that you actively invest in your financial education. Now, this doesn't mean you have to become a Wall Street wizard. It can be as simple as reading one personal finance book a year, or just taking the time to understand basic terms like expense ratio. Every little thing you learn nudges all your future decisions in a slightly better direction, and that effect compounds over decades.
And because you're learning, your goals start to change. This is sign number 10. Your new target becomes financial independence, not just retirement. Retirement is an age, right? Financial independence is a number. It's the point where the income from your assets covers your basic living expenses. Hitting that number, maybe long before you turn 65, gives you incredible freedom and control over your life.
Which leads us straight to sign number 11. You start protecting your hours just as fiercely as you protect your dollars. Why? Because time is the one resource you can never, ever get back. It is the ultimate non-renewable asset. So you start making smarter trades. Maybe you pay someone to handle a chore you hate so you can free up an hour to learn a valuable new skill. You start seeing every single hour as an opportunity. Okay, so that's the mindset, right? That's the theory. But what does this actually look like in practice, day to day? Well, this final section covers the 12th and maybe the most important sign of all. You're not just hoping for the best. You've built a simple, consistent system that you actually follow. And here's a super powerful weekly system you could use. Step 1, paycheck hits your account. First thing, 15% is automatically sent to your investments. You pay yourself first. Step 2, the next day, your fixed bills are on autopay so you never get hit with a late fee. Step 3, sometime midweek, find one subscription you don't use anymore, cancel it, and invest that money instead. Step 4, block out 1 hour for a project that adds value to your life. And step 5, on Friday, take a quick peek at your portfolio, acknowledge the progress, and then close the app. Don't obsess.
So what's the payoff for a simple, kind of boring routine like that? Well, you repeat that for just 5 years, and your portfolio could easily grow large enough to cover several months of your living costs. Remember that financial crisis we talked about earlier? Poof, it's now just an inconvenience. That is the incredible power of quiet, consistent action.
So at the end of the day, all 12 of these signs really boil down to this one single transformative question that you can ask yourself every single day. Are your paychecks buying you things, or are they buying you freedom?